Hello, good morning. Welcome to JCE Connect. So, in the last class, we have started with the brakes. So, we have discussed about the definition of the brake, what is meant by brake. We discussed about the different requirements of a braking system and the different types of braking systems. So, in which we have studied about mechanically operated braking system. So, today we'll be dealing with the hydraulic braking system. So this hydraulic braking system is better than the mechanically operated one, and this is very simple and efficient working, and it is wear is reduced on the brake linings. So this wear is where this wear we are getting when there is a contact between the brake shoe and the brake drum, and the braking action on all the brakes is equal. Okay, in this whatever braking action is taking place, it is equal in all the brakes, means all the wheels. Okay, so now how does this hydraulic braking system work? What is the working principle of the hydraulic braking system? This hydraulic braking system is working on the principle of Pascal's law. So this Pascal's law is nothing but it is the pressure exerted on a fluid in a closed system which will transmit the same pressure in all the directions in that system. So it means, I mean to say that when I'm applying a pressure on this, or when I'm applying a force, I will just say force. I'm applying a 10 Newton of force on this piston which is having an area of 1 centimeter square. So how much pressure I'm applying? I'm applying 10 Newton per centimeter square of force on this piston. Okay. So what happens is the pressure generated here. When push this, what will happen? It will start creating a pressure and it will start pushing this weight. Okay, pushing these weights in the side cylinders. So if I want to bring them this and this into equilibrium, what I'll do is whatever pressure I'm applying on this or whatever force I'm applying on this, the same force I'm applying on this. So whenever I apply force on this main cylinder, the same force or the same pressure is transmitted to the side cylinders. So therefore, this side cylinder will balance the force applied on the cylinder or the piston and the pressure created by the main cylinder. That's why these are in equilibrium. Okay, so it means to say that it is giving a explanation or it's giving a proof to the Pascal's law. It means that the pressure is transmitted equal in all the directions in a closed system. Okay, so now that is, so the explanation is given here. The figure 1 which is I have shown in the previous slide is the working of the hydraulic braking system. It has 5 cylinders filled with a liquid and having each cylinder is having 1 centimeter square of area, and a certain force of 10 kg is applied on the main cylinder and the same amount of force is applied on the side cylinders. So these weights are supported by the liquid in all the cylinders. So whatever weights are there, it is been supported by whatever pressure is created by the liquid. So if I reduce the pressure over here in the main cylinder, what will happen? If I reduce the force, whatever weight is there, it will start pushing the liquid back. Okay. So that is the working principle of Pascal system or Pascal's law. So that is used in lifting the heavy weights. So the application of Pascal's law is to lift the heavy weights by applying a small force. The force is multiplied in the Pascal's law. Okay. So based on that only the hydraulic brake system works. So now we'll go for the construction and operation of the hydraulic brake system. So as we have seen in the mechanical operated system, there was a piston and it has been connected to a cam. There was a lever which is connected to the cam, and that cam is rotated and it is pushing the brake shoe outwards, that is it is expanding, and when we are releasing the pedal, what is happening? It is contracting because of the spring. So here you can see that we are having a two cylinders, that is master cylinder and wheel cylinder. Master cylinder is the important one. It is the heart of the hydraulic brake system. So in this what happens is whenever the pressure is applied or whenever the pedal is applied pressed, what happens is it is creating a force on this piston plunger, and that is creating a force on the liquid which is present over here. This liquid, when we apply a force on the, or when we press the pedal, what happens is it will push this, and because of which the oil which is there, it will push outwards. Okay, and this oil is transferred to all the wheel cylinders. So when this reaches the wheel cylinder, what happens is you can see we can see that there are two pistons over here. There are two pistons over here, and that oil is placed in between these two pistons. Okay, it will start entering into that space which is there in between the two pistons, which are facing opposite to each other, and moves opposite to each other, and while moving it pushes the brake shoe towards the outward side, towards the brake drum. So you can see that whenever this piston pushes, it is pushing the brake shoe, and that brake shoe is pushing outward, and it is touching the brake drum, and the motion of the brake drum is stopped. So this is whenever the pedal is pressed. So whenever we release the pressure from the pedal, or whenever they release the pedal, what happens? Whatever liquid is there in the wheel cylinder, it will start trying to come back into the master cylinder, because there is a sudden change of. So what happens at that time, whenever I release the pedal, so this plunger, there is a spring over here which will retract the piston towards the pedal side, and whatever oil is there in this all the wheel cylinder will try to get into this master cylinder. And it's getting into the master cylinder, the oil is getting out. So because of which this piston, this opposite two pistons which are there in the wheel cylinder, will try to come back to its original position, and there is also a spring to retract the brake shoe back to its original position. So this is happening every time whenever we press and whenever we release the braking system or the pedal. Okay, so when we press the cylinder, from the master cylinder the fluid is entering into the each and every wheel cylinder. In wheel cylinder there are two pistons which are facing opposite to each other, and the oil is been getting into the space between the two pistons in the wheel cylinder, and it is pushing the brake shoe outwards, and that is getting in contact with the brake drum. And to retract it back, whenever we release the pedal, what happens? Whatever oil is there in the wheel cylinder, it will try to get into the master cylinder again, and the cylinder retracts because of the master cylinder retracts because of the spring which is there in the master cylinder, and there is a spring which is there in the wheel cylinder or the brake or the wheel. It will try to get back the brake shoe to its original position. So this is the operation of the and construction of the hydraulic brake system. So now this is the explanation. It goes like this. So as we have seen in the figure number 2, which is the second figure in the slide, shows a master cylinder and the force wheel cylinder, and every four-wheel cylinder contains two piston cylinders. Okay, two pistons, okay, which are moving outwards. Because of this outward movement and this oil which is there, which is coming into the wheel cylinder through the pipes, through some suitable pipes, and the springs are used to hold the brake shoes on the all the four wheels. As I have told, springs are used to control the retraction of the brake shoe back to its original position. Okay, whenever the brake pedal is pressed, the piston in the master cylinder forces the liquid out into the brake lines, through which brake lines are nothing but through which the fluid is flowing in the hydraulic system. Okay, so this liquid presses the two pistons in wheel cylinder outward, and these pistons push the brake shoes outward. Okay, then the brake shoes in turn press against the brake drum. So whenever the brake shoe comes out, it will be pressing the brake drum, and the wheel is getting stopped. Okay, so now in the next part, whenever the brake pedal is released, the master cylinder is pushed backwards by a spring fitted in the master cylinder. So what happens when the pressure is released, or the brake pedal is released, the master cylinder is pushed backwards to the by a spring fitted in the master cylinder. So there are two springs, one is fitted in the master cylinder, one is fitted in the shoe of the brake. Okay, okay, and the springs of the brake shoe, the springs of the brake shoe brings the shoes closer because there is a decrease of pressure in the wheel cylinder. At this time, the two pistons in the wheel cylinder also come closer. Okay, because whatever oil or whatever liquid is there in between those two is taken out into the master cylinder. The liquid in the wheel cylinder is pushed outward through the pipes. Okay, and it returns through the pipes to the master cylinder. So whatever liquid is there, it will be from the wheel cylinder, it is pushed backwards to the pipelines or pipes of oil liquid, and it is returned to the master cylinder. This is how the hydraulic system of the four wheel operates. Okay, so now as we have studied about master cylinder and wheel cylinder, we'll be discussing it in detail. So first we'll deal with the master cylinder. So you can see that it is somewhat a kind of hydraulic system in which every hydraulic system has one main part, that is the reservoir. Okay, the reservoir is used to store the oil. Okay, so this is the heart of this master cylinder is the heart of the hydraulic braking system, in which the hydraulic pressure which is required is developed. So it is its working is similar to the pump. Whatever the work is done by this master cylinder is same as that of the pump. So what is the pump? Pump is nothing but which converts the mechanical force back into hydraulic pressure. Okay, and the turbine is the one which is converting pressure energy into mechanical energy. So in this, where this master cylinder works as a pump, so which is converting the mechanical force which we are applying by the pedal through pedal, and which is converted into hydraulic pressure of the liquid which is there in the cylinder and which is flowing through the hydraulic system. Okay, and it is rigidly fastened to the car frame and linked by means of pedal rod to the brake foot pedal. So this is linked to the brake foot pedal. Whenever the pressure of the driver's foot on the brake pedal is transmitted, whatever pressure is applied by the driver's foot on the brake pedal is transmitted through the linkages arrangements to the piston of the master cylinder. So whenever the pressure is applied by the driver's foot, that pressure is transmitted through some arrangements to the piston in the master cylinder. So now we'll go with the construction, how it is constructed. So the essential part of the master cylinder is the reservoir, in which the supply in which we are storing or reserve in which we are storing the required amount of oil or the fluid or the liquid which we require for the hydraulic system. So and this is stored because there may be a chances when the pressure whatever liquid is there, it may get leaked out and we may fall shortage of some liquid. So to supply a continuous amount of liquid to the hydraulic system, we require a reservoir. Okay, and there is a compression chamber in which the piston is placed. Okay, there is an air vent placed in the cap which will allow keep the brake fluid always at the atmospheric pressure, and also the whatever expansion and contraction of the fluid is there should be taking place without any formation of vacuum. So whatever contraction, see, whenever the piston is whenever whenever the driver is pressing the pedal, what happens is he is applying a pressure and it is pushing it will push this will come here and it will push this one. So while by pushing this, it will push the spring and the liquid whatever is there, it will taken into the brake line. So So that is nothing but this is compression, this is expansion. So that has to be controlled within the vacuum. There should not be any vacuum created in this because it will lead to the stoppage of the master cylinder. So that's why there should be a continuous supply of oil in the compression chamber. Okay, this compression chamber consists of aluminum piston which is covered with rubber seals on both ends. These are rubber seals on both ends we are connecting. Okay, so why we are providing a seal? Seals are provided to avoid the leakage from the piston. Okay, now the inner face of the piston presses against a rubber primary seal and this prevents leakage past the piston. This is primary seal which is not allowing the leakage from here to here. Okay, and there is one more called as secondary seal which is not allowing the prevent the fluid leaving this master cylinder. Okay, it is not see here whatever is there from here there is no oil flowing through into this by primary seal, and secondary seal is not allowing the fluid to leave the master cylinder. Okay, now whatever this master cylinder is there, the secondary seal is not allowing the oil to flow out. As oil or whatever liquid we are using in the master cylinder or the hydraulic system, it is tend to leak. So we are providing some seals so that the seal is reduced and the pressure inside the compression chamber is maintained. Okay, so the inner piston head, whatever is there here, inner piston head has several small piston holes over here, which is shown like this, piston holes that pass through the head of the piston and to the base of the rubber primary seal. See, here it will be there like this. There are some piston holes. Okay, the piston is prevented from this piston is prevented from coming out using the stop washer and the push rod, or we can say circlip. So whenever this piston will try to come out, this stop washer and the circlip will not allow it to come out, and the push rod is to apply the, as I said, this push rod is to apply the pressure and it connects the piston to the brake pedal linkage. As I said, there are some linkage arrangements made. So whenever a brake is pressed or the pedal is pressed, it will push this cylinder by this push rod. Okay, now there is a fluid check valve with a rubber cup inside it, is held against a rubber seat. Okay, this is the check valve, this is the rubber cup. Okay, the spring presses against the check valve while the other end is against the piston primary seal. Okay, on the primary seal side, what is happening is there are number of holes located in the piston head, that is piston holes, and there are, that is bypass port and the filler port. The bypass port is to relieve the pressure inside the cylinder and the filler port is to fill the oil inside this cylinder, spring based cylinder. Okay, so this is the construction of the master cylinder. So now we'll go with the working. So whenever the brake is pedal is pressed, what happens is the push rod moves the piston inward, that is to the towards the left, and presses it the piston at the on the left side. So what happens is during that time the this bypass port is there na, it will get closed up. When the bypass port gets closed up, what happens, there is a pressure created inside the compression chamber, and this pressure forces the check valve to open and rubber valve to open, and it will allow the liquid or the liquid into the brake lines. This liquid from the brake lines enters into the wheel cylinder and causes the piston in it to move outward and force the shoes, and it will force the shoes outwards and tightly against the brake drum, and the brake drum is not rotating or it is stopping the motion of the brake drum, and we are applying the brakes. When the brake pedal is released, the pressure from the brake shoe return back to the master cylinder because of the spring forces created in the check valve, and the master cylinder piston moves outwards towards the right. So when the pedal is released, what happens is the oil from the wheel cylinder will come into the brake liners and will start creating a pressure on this part. So because of which the pressure which is there here, it will be more, it will start pushing this check valve, and the piston moves from towards the outward, that is outer side, that is the right side, due to the spring action in the master cylinder. Okay, as we have discussed this in hydraulic brake system, that the master cylinder is taking back the oil into itself after the brake pedal is released. So whatever oil is there in the wheel cylinder, it will try to push back itself into the master cylinder. That pushing back is taking place in through the this check valve into the master cylinder, and the piston moves from the towards the right, okay, in the master cylinder because of the spring. Okay, now the fluid under pressure, whatever is there which is coming from here, will lift the check valve which is here its seat, allowing the fluid to return to the cylinder. So as I have said, there is a check valve over here which is allowing the fluid to enter from here when we are pressing the pedal, and it is taking the fluid to the brake lines, and from there it is taking to the wheel cylinder. Now what happens after the pedal is released, the whatever fluid is there, liquid is there, it will try to push back with high pressure and makes this piston in the master cylinder to move towards its right direction. Okay, so whatever the spring force in the master cylinder keeps the fluid check valve pressed on its seat for some time, and hence delays the return of the fluid into the combustion chamber. So the pressure is so much high that whatever pressure is there in the coming back to the compression chamber, it will be less. So for some time what happens is this whatever check valve is there, it will be sitting over here only, it won't move towards the right. Okay, so because of that there is a delay in the receiving of the oil back to the compression chamber. This delay is also caused because of the fluid motion in the lines due to its viscosity. So if the viscosity is more, it means that the Reynolds number is more. Okay, so because of which there because of the viscosity, the velocity required will be less to come back to its, with some pressure it has to come na, so that it can open up. So that velocity will reduce because of the viscosity of the oil, because of its flow into this. Okay, so because of which whenever there is a delay of entering of the oil from the wheel cylinder, there is a formation of vacuum in this. So to avoid the vacuum because of the air leakage into the compression chamber, we are using a process where whenever there is a air intake, so what happens is the filler or the intake port will get opened up, and this will enter some oil into this chamber, and that oil will create a pressure which will release whatever vacuum pressure is generated because of the air involvement in this. So the filler or intake port will enter with some oil here, and whatever vacuum is created in this will be taken out. Okay, now in this way what happens is whatever liquid has entered here, it will maintain the liquid throughout the cylinder, throughout the brake line, throughout the wheel cylinder. So whenever during the next application of the brake, the oil level or the liquid level is not reduced, so it is maintained throughout this master cylinder, the brake lines, and the wheel cylinder to which it is connected. So but one thing is that by the time the fluid from the reservoir fills the vacuum, by the time what happens is the reservoir fills the vacuum, the fluid which is coming from the brake lines will also lift the check valve off its seat and comes into the cylinder. So now there will be excess amount of fluid accommodated in the master cylinder. Now this has to be taken out. So what happens is, if this is getting filled with complete liquid, what happens, it will jam up and it won't allow the motion of the piston in this. So this problem is solved. So to remove this excess amount of oil, we are using a bypass port. Okay, so which will take out the remaining oil into the reservoir, and in this, because of in this, the atmospheric pressure is maintained. So here one thing is that the intake port is releasing the oil only when the vacuum is created in the reservoir. Okay, so now what, the oil will also come here, and by the time the oil is filled in the in this master cylinder, whatever oil is coming from the wheel cylinder through the brake lines will also lift this check valve and enter into this master cylinder. So there will be excess amount of oil in this. So this oil has to be released back into the reservoir through this bypass port. So bypass port is to release the, or to relieve the cylinder from high pressure of the oil. So to remove the excess amount of oil liquid, or to remove the excess amount of pressure, a bypass port is opened up and the remaining oil is passed into the reservoir, and which is maintained at atmospheric pressure. So this is the construction and working of the master cylinder. So in the next class we'll be dealing with the wheel cylinder. So now I'll just read out the things which we have learned, so that you can understand by reading it. So whatever master cylinder is there, it is the heart of the hydraulic braking system, in which the hydraulic pressure is developed. So as I have said, it works as similar of that pump, and it converts mechanical force into hydraulic pressure. So it is fastened to a car frame. The pressure of the driver's foot on the brake pedal is transmitted to the various linkages to a piston to the master cylinder. So the construction is, it is having a reservoir to maintain the additional fluid and supply it whenever required. Okay, and there are air vents to maintain the oil or the liquid at atmospheric pressure in the compression chamber. And the compression chamber consists of aluminum pistons with different types of seals to not to allow the oil to move from master cylinder, or not to allow the different oil come into the master cylinder from the outside. And there is non-stop washer circlip, which is not allowing the piston to move outward towards the right end. Okay, and a push rod is used to apply the pressure from the pedal, and these are kind of linkage arrangements which are done to transmit the force from the pedal towards the master cylinder. Okay, there is a rubber cup and a check valve which is placed at the other end of the master cylinder, which is allowing the liquid to flow into the brake liners and come from the taking the liquid from the brake liners. And there are some primary seals holes which are present in the cylinder, that has bypass port, which is used for relieving the pressure inside the inside the compression chamber and fluid reservoir. And there is one more intake port which is connecting the fluid reservoir to the compression chamber. So the working is, as we apply the brake or the brake pedal is pressed, the push rod moves the piston towards the left against the spring force till it covers the bypass port. Okay, so now with the bypass port closed, what happens is the pressure is developed inside the inside the cylinder, and that is allowing the fluid to flow out into the brake lines. Okay, then that lines that fluid or that liquid is flowing into the wheel cylinder, where it is pressing against the brake shoe, and it is pressing the brake drum, which is stopping the motion of the brake drum. And that whatever, when after releasing the pedal, what happens is because of the pressure, because of the spring which is there in the brake pedal, it will try to retract, and whatever oil is there in the wheel cylinder between the two piston will try to come out into the master cylinder. So the fluid under pressure will lift the check valve off its seat, allowing fluid return back to the master cylinder. So the spring force in the master cylinder keeps the fluid check valve pressed on its seat for some time, and hence delays the return of fluid into the compression chamber. So as the pressure inside the master cylinder is more, so the check valve is still on the other side of the master cylinder. It is just pushing. It is not allowing the liquid to come from the wheel cylinder into the master cylinder again. It is just pushing it again. So there is a delay in entering of the liquid. So because of this also, and there is one more reason, that is fluid motion in the lines, brake lines, due to viscosity. So viscosity will reduce the velocity of the liquid, and that will create a vacuum inside the compression chamber. This compression chamber, and it will make the brake useless. So to avoid this formation of a vacuum, what they are doing is, the fluid reservoir which is there in the atmospheric pressure is passed through the intake port and into the holes in the piston, and it is filling the compression chamber with oil and taking out the vacuum which is created inside the compression chamber. So after intake port is making the oil to fill into the compression chamber, that complete column is filled with the liquid maintained between the master cylinder piston and the wheel cylinder piston, ready for the next brake application. So what is happening is, so liquid will enter into the compression chamber, into the master cylinder, and that master cylinder is taking the liquid. So it means that there should be oil present in master cylinder, brake lines, and wheel cylinder continuously, so that whenever there is a next braking application, there should not be any shortage. So but by the time the liquid is filling the from the reservoir is filling the compression chamber, the liquid from the brake liners will enter into the compression chamber by lifting the check valve. After entering, the pressure inside the master cylinder will go on increasing, because the oil is been entering from here, from the liners and from the reservoir. So to avoid the increase in pressure, or to avoid the rise in of liquid in the master cylinder, there is a bypass port which is allowing the extra liquid to flow from the master cylinder to the back to the reservoir, which is maintained at atmospheric pressure. Okay, so this is the explanation of the master cylinder. So as I have said, in the next class we'll be dealing with the different cylinder, that is wheel cylinder, which is a part of this hydraulic system. Thank you. If you have any queries, you can contact me.